Welcome back, guys. You're watching NR4 Media. We're here at Blockchain Live 2019 with some very fantastic and interesting personnel we've had on the show so far. We've talked all things in terms of medical tech, what's going on with blockchain right now. We've had RemyLife.com, of course, with Simon Hooper on the show earlier on, who's been speaking to us a little bit more about what they're doing right now in terms of the market. And I'd also like to introduce now our next guest, who's going to be giving us more insight in terms of what's going on with yourselves within the pharmaceutical industry and within blockchain. I'd now like to introduce our next guest, Zain Rana, who's the CEO of Pharmeum. Zain, thanks very much for joining myself.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about Pharmeum right now. You're the CEO there. Without being disrespectful, you're a little bit of a younger guy as well, so you do see that a fair bit within blockchain and with IT, that you're seeing younger CEOs there. Tell us a little bit about your story, about yourself, and how you went about setting up Pharmeum.
I mean, so I was always in gaming. Should I hold the mic, actually? It might be.
All right, okay. I mean, I can hold the mic.
All right, okay. So I was always in gaming when I was younger, just developing my own games. Got into more ethical hacking as I got a bit older. Abandoned this side completely, as you find hobbies when you get in your teenage years and stuff. But yeah, I just had that passion in tech always. So I was always brought into the healthcare side. I graduated in first class degree in biomed. So my original plan was to go and become a doctor, like what my family wanted me to. My dad was a doctor, etc. So I actually founded Pharmeum when I was at university. So it's a funny story because I almost got kicked out of university for that. And somehow I ended up getting a first class degree anyway. And Pharmeum was just something I was just so passionate about. I saw a market fit. I think age is, do you know what, it's not even a limiting factor. Originally it was. So I mean, I grew a beard mainly just to cover up the age a little bit, but it's not so much of a limiting factor because I think those who are younger, they see the world with a different set of eyes. And that's really, really important because then they can see change and they're the ones who will actually innovate if they can implement or execute on that.
There's no disrespect because obviously I'm a young guy sort of trying to run my own company myself as well, so I understand exactly where you're coming from as well there. But it's interesting in the sense that you had a medical background and you obviously studied biomedicine, was that correct, at university, and you moved into blockchain really, but still having this pharmaceutical element involved in it as well. Now, getting into the more detail about Pharmeum right now, where are you in terms of the marketplace? And simply for the viewers at home, what do you really offer to the end user or to potentially your customers?
So, I mean, we believe data is a currency. I think Facebook, Google, Amazon have already realized that as well. One of the most valuable types of data is medical data. It's created from the day you're born. It exists electronically as well. So what we're doing is through Pharmeum is allowing everyone to earn passive rewards, passive profit through the Pharmeum platform. You contribute your data to the network, and on top of the Pharmeum app network, applications, next generation artificial intelligence are built. So that essentially is catalyzing the next generation of super intelligent healthcare. And you as a user contribute to that. These applications pay a listing fee to build on the network. That partially goes to the users and is redistributed to all of the users, who then earn passive rewards. They don't have to do much effort to do that. Data is an asset all of us possess, but usually unmonetized and unutilized as well. Right now, most of medical data just gathers dust, yet its value is soaring exponentially. And yeah, that's mainly what Pharmeum is. And we also offer in-app purchases within all of the applications building on the platform. So what we're really doing is going down the trend that data is having. I mean, if you look in the past 2 years, more than 90% of the world's data was created. The likes of 5G, IoT devices increasing. This trend will continue in this direction as well. So Pharmeum is creating that user-centric platform to take advantage of exactly that and give power to the users and profit to the users for their own asset. So in terms of where we fit right now in the market, we already have a working product adopted in the UK as of last year, which we're really proud about. And also we have a functional blockchain MVP. All of the code is on our GitHub, and we have 2 prototypes as well. One of them is going to be published, which is a bit nicer and updated version, on the website on Friday. We're actually at this event, so it's funny that you mentioned that, because we're at this event right now to announce our NatWest incubation. So NatWest is incubating the Pharmeum project, everything from office space to piloting, and just eventually introducing us to other potential partners as well. So we're really excited because for crypto and blockchain, what we need is real world usage. We need people creating value, and I think outsiders, and especially banks, which is, you always have that skepticism around banks versus blockchain and etc., which I mean I'm not a huge believer in, but having them to come on board with blockchain and believe in a blockchain crypto project is just flattering, really.
Well, it's great that they're embracing it as well, and I think the fact that people are actually taking it seriously now. I think a few years ago there was a real buzz, there's a buzz around it, but a lot of people, quote unquote, described it as being a bit of a buzzword and maybe a hype around it. Yeah. But now, obviously, if the banks, like you said, are getting involved with it, like you've described with one of your clients, who are implementing it, that's positive stuff.
Yep, definitely. I mean, that's the direction we need to change. I think for maturing the industry, maybe it's my view, and I don't know how much of a popular opinion it is, but I think it's within everyone's responsibility, those who are creating in this industry, to actually bridge the gap between the outside world and the real world, because that's how we're going to mature as an industry. That's how this will actually be recognized in the real world. And I don't know, I feel like that's partly my responsibility as well.
And in terms of, obviously, you said here, this is your first event with Blockchain Live, is it? Or were you here last year as well?
So we were here last year as well, actually. This year I think is a lot better than last year. So I don't know, maybe we got a better position, I don't know what it is, but we really enjoyed it this year.
So what do you really hope to take out of the event this year? Is there any particular conversations, any speakers that you really want to go see? Or is it just simply saying, look, there's potential clients here as well that are wanting to come to this event? Or is it simply to look at seeing what the competition are maybe doing as well?
Well, we're mainly at this event because we've been in stealth mode for like almost the past 2 years. I've been a speaker at a lot of events based on being invited to them and stuff. We've not heavily marketed the project. We've been focusing more on development, working behind the scenes, which I guess is appreciated in the long run. But in this event, we're mainly just now coming out of stealth mode. We're getting more into marketing and creating, I guess, the buzz around Pharmeum, what we're doing, and just, I guess, reinstating a lot of faith that some people would have in the crypto and blockchain world, really.
And Zain, obviously there's a lot of businesses which are here, which are linking up with each other themselves as well. Obviously I mentioned previously that you're doing a lot of work with other companies as well. I believe Remy Life is one of them as well, potentially, that you're maybe looking to talk with. Are there any other businesses here that you're wanting to potentially connect up with and look at, or is it still early days?
Actually, to be honest, if you look around, there's so much innovative projects here. And I feel like every single year, the projects that are less innovative sort of die out. Maybe it's a lack of motivation, and those that are just next gen, those that are really going to change everyone's lives, they just persist, and that's what we're left with now. But yeah, collaboration is the future. I think collaboration over competition is definitely the future for the industry. So like for us, for example, because we're unlocking the value in data, working with entities that focus on data and struggle with revenue, because you've got so much data, it gathers dust, where do you make money off that? As a company, you've got to sustain itself. So there are a few companies, I won't name any names, but which we'll probably look into at this event.
Great stuff. Well, that's the reason for these events, isn't it, of course, and connecting people up and seeing really what the community is doing, especially within blockchain. It's still early days in a lot of respects compared to a lot of IT industries. So yeah, great stuff. Zain, it's a pleasure actually having you on the show, telling us a little bit more about Pharmeum. If people want to go find out a little bit more about yourselves, how do they go about it?
So our Telegram conversation is probably best. We loved the Telegram. I mean, actually this event, we had about 5 people from our Telegram just recognizing Pharmeum itself. They're like, oh, look, you're on the Telegram. They send pictures of us in the Telegram community channel. It's probably the best way to get in touch. Alternatively, just go on pharmeum.io and you can find all the social media channels there. And yeah, that's probably the best place.
Great stuff. Thanks for joining us on NR4 Media. It's a real pleasure having you on and talking to us a little bit more about what you're doing at Pharmeum right now.